Hi guys, welcome to Wild Blood's Adventure. So we wanted to sit down and give our story to why we're choosing this lifestyle and why we're doing it now at this time. There's a lot of consideration that went into it. One of the things was COVID, and we really thought about it. The last year, a lot of it, we did nothing the last year. I don't think anybody did anything the past year. And we had a lot of vacations, and we did remodeling the house. So, but we didn't go anywhere as a family or do anything, and we lost the whole year of our lives, basically. And we've seen, luckily for our immediate family, COVID hasn't hit us, yet. We have had some people in our family that have had COVID, and luckily they've all responded well to it.
They've been fine.
But it's put a whole, and it's also challenged us to think, don't take life for granted anymore. And with that, we also thought about school with our girls. Last year we had last year when COVID hit, right about now, the girls were released from school March 14th or 12th. Okay,
March 13th.
And they ended up just passing them forward. They were going to, with everything, and there was a little bit of work done, but it just took everybody by storm and surprise. No one knew what to do, how to react to it. So it's understandable for the schooling system. But even going back this year, we've been fortunate enough for our girls started back in August.
Yep.
And they went every day. But I know it's got to be hard on the teachers and everybody else because they're doing the virtual learning plus, the regular students that are attending class, and who knows what's going on in other states where it's total virtual. We think maybe this September they might some type of normalcy.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but we don't know. And we've seen a lack in, they're not learning as much. For them just to pass them forward, they missed 3 months of school last year, right. If you think about it. So there's some education that they missed throughout. And then this year, it's been hard going through, but I think there's still a little confusion and not getting as much as normal. So, and if we're thinking it might be another year before you get back some normalcy, then why not take a break now? We're still going to educate them. We've bought a lot of packets to work with them on their education to help them grow, but we're also going to give them that experience of life
and just general. Learning the United States firsthand, actually seeing what's out there.
Yes, and learn the different cultures that are out there, everything. We're excited about that hands-on experience because they don't get enough of that, as it is nowadays. They play inside mainly, but if you think about it, the RV lifestyle is one of the safest places because you're social distancing. You're at your own, campsite. You're in your RV.
You're self-contained.
Yes, they're not in school every day with other, kids and everything catching. So that played a role in it. Our work-life balance that we did when we had jobs, our work-life balance was not the greatest. I've been in retail for 30 years. My last 14 years is spent with Kohl's as a store manager, and the schedule all over the place from closing to opening to mid shifts.
Weekends.
Yeah, weekends. It's retail. It is what it is. And Deborah, with yours, you're Monday through Friday, but...
I was lucky enough, starting in March, I started working from home. So that helped out with the kids, but there were a lot of days I was working 12, 13 hours and no real time for the kids. They'd get home from school and quick throw them a snack to eat, to hold them over while I was still working. You weren't getting home until...
No, our evening with our children would start about 7:30, and we'd have to eat or dinner, and then we'd have to bathe them and do a little bit of homework and stuff, and then boom, they're in bed by 9. And it was frustrating as parents.
Yeah.
We would sit and talk about it all the time. And in mid-November, I ended up quitting my job and had nothing to do with getting into this lifestyle, but I wanted to change from doing it for 30 years. I was burnt out from it. I love retail, love what I've done in there, but it was just time for a change. With dealing with COVID the past year and with employees not coming back, with things that corporate were asking of us to do still. I felt I was putting my family in situations by being out there with a whole bunch of customers, not knowing what COVID was really. That was stress enough. And Deborah was seeing the stress that I was under, and I really just didn't want to do a holiday season because I didn't know what to expect then. And she agreed and saw the stress, and we spoke, and I put in my notice, and I left in mid-November. And from there, we got to see, our family life went up. Our quality of living went up, more so on my side with the kids
even
than
with
Deborah's.
me, because I was still working at that point, but the quality time that you got to spend with the girls and that one-on-one that you got to spend with them really helped, and they got their schooling
Their
improved.
grades went up. I mean,
We had the time to work with
We had a
them.
system in place, and we were eating dinner at 5:30. At least some of us were,
Yeah.
3/4 of us, but it was ready. So that's the stuff we saw there, and I mean, we started thinking more and more, and then we took a trip to Texas for Thanksgiving to see my son Jacob, and on the way back from there, we love traveling, but we were talking the only vacations we would normally take. We would go to Disney World, we would go to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge in Tennessee, and we'd go up the Northeast, Atlantic City beaches, Seaside, Wildwood, stuff like that. And we really weren't, when you have a family of 4, you can't afford to fly to California or Colorado,
Right.
constantly. And a week off when you get 9 days isn't enough time to drive out there
and
drive
actually
back.
see
And enjoy.
anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So even with the trip to Texas, it was a 4-day trip. We only spent like a day and a half, if that, seeing my son, and then we had to drive back because Deborah had to work the next Monday. And on that drive back, I mean, we joked about, I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie Elizabethtown. There was a whole bunch of different spots that went back through Memphis and everything. We're like, oh, let's go through some of them spots. But we couldn't because we didn't have the time to go through it. And we were just in a hurry. We drove straight through. It was like 18-hour drive, back. But we started thinking and talking more so then about wanting to be able to spend time. What's it going to take? Because long term for me, I want to get into real estate, and we both want to flip houses together. If you've seen some of our other things, what we've done inside our house that we just sold, we love that stuff. But for now, we were trying to figure out, what's best for us and our family. And so when we got back, then we started making our decision. Do we want to sell our house? That's like our hugest.
That's the hard. I think that was probably the toughest decision to make.
Yeah, because we love everything we've done. I mean, it was funny because we were looking to sell our house in July or August, and because we wanted a pool.
Yep.
And that was the only reason we said we sell our house. You got to have a pool because we're on septic and we couldn't, have a pool here. We found out we could get one, but we were just, what are we going to do? So then we decided, since we're going to stay here, we're going to redo our kitchen. And we went and put the quartz countertops in, the Subway backsplash, the gray cabinets. Loved it, and it was like yes. But then after that trip and going to Texas, then we were just like, man, we got an asset here. If we want to take some time off, she was stressed at her job at the time, and it was just getting worse and worse. It was waking up at working from home, waking up at 6:30 in the morning and getting our children ready for school, and then bam at 7 o'clock working till 7 or 8:30 sometimes, and then having to come in on Saturdays still for her job. That was tough. I mean, it was a lot of hours.
Sometimes on call.
Yeah, and then you're on call every other week, and you're waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4, and it just didn't seem like it was worth it. We're doing this stuff, and we've been doing it for 30 years already, and we just wanted to break. And when we got back from Texas, that was our thing. We went on YouTube and we started looking at things, and that's how we came up with a family gap year. And it was like, what is this? Wait a minute, that's exactly what we want to do.
Had never heard of it before, didn't know what it was, but it was like, we're not the only ones
thinking this. We're not that crazy. I mean, here I am. I'm the one jobless, and I'm looking at this stuff, but I'm like, look, come here. There are people that are crazy that take a break, and what they do is they enjoy time with their family now before retirement. We know we're gonna have to get back into the lifestyle, and working and all that stuff, but I don't want to work for another 30 years. And then who knows if I can make it, that long. I've had my dad, my grandfather both passed away at 57. I'm almost 50. So that plays a token into it. And, our girls are young, 8 and 6. They still like us, or love us.
at this point.
Yeah, they're not teenagers yet. They're not gone. But we want some memories, and we want to create some memories with them that are more than just 4 places. We want to go everywhere. We want to see the West Coast. We want to go up to Maine. We want to go everywhere and see it. We got this chance, we got this gold mine that we're sitting on. We think of a house, and so let's take it and go. I mean, we're not rich, you know, none of that stuff. So after that decision came of we do want to sell our house, we sold it by ourselves. It's our second house we did for sale by an owner. And what's funny is the first person that saw our house last time bought it that day. The first person that saw our house this time bought it that day. So, I mean, the house is beautiful. I mean, a lot of you guys have seen, you know, pictures of it. But that was when it came in. It's like, you know, let's sell this and take what we have, and not all of it, but let's take, you know, some of it. We did the financials and the budgeting going through it, that we can afford to do this. We can't afford to do it forever, but a year I think we can do this for, and let's make the most out of it, and let's enjoy our time with our children, and we'll have these memories and experiences that'll last a lifetime. And when we do go back to that dog eat dog world, you know, we'll at least have this stuff to reflect back on. And then that's when Deborah ended up putting in her notice.
Yep, quit my job. And I think one of the biggest things that made it an easier decision was the fact that these are just things. We are working so hard to make this happen with the nice house, and making sure that, you know, we have cars and buy stuff for the kids, but it's all materialistic.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get that back later on. It doesn't mean as much as the quality time that we're going to get to spend with our girls and with each other, because we weren't seeing each other near enough.
No.
And it was really hard, and looking at it like that and saying, we can do this again later on down the road.
And we'll figure out what we want to do then in a career change. If it is, I mean, right now it is real estate, you know, we're both thinking of get into, but who knows, you know, down the road. But we
that
don't
could change.
Yeah, I mean, you put yourself in this cycle, and this is what you have to do. This
Every
is what you have to do, and you don't have to do it. And that's where we, you know, with me making that stand in the beginning of leaving, you know, Kohl's, then it was like, you know what, we can afford this, we can do this. No, so what? You don't have the 2,700 square foot house. You know, we don't need this stuff. We need each other, and that's the most important thing, you know, our time frame. So, I mean, from then, that's where, you know, she put in her notice, and for the end of the year, she left her job. So right now we're both jobless. We plan on being jobless for a year or more.
Kind of scary.
Yes, it is. You have to get used to it from not, you know, getting up every day. I mean, we still have the girls in school for now as we're organizing and getting the house ready to go. But I mean, then we took to planning the event. That's the gap year. And I don't know if you could see behind, we have our huge country picture and where we plan on going. I'm sure that'll change, you know, throughout, because we've missed some places, and that's what we want to hear from everybody as we're going through, is what places, you know, do you want us to definitely hit, or do we need to see during this time frame that you guys, you know, wish, you know, you could. But we've got a lot of campsites. We have a lot of discounts for RV things.
Enjoyed some of those memberships.
Yes, I mean, for the one, I mean, to show you guys some of the costs, was it 51 days? The first 51 days of staying is going to cost us about $450. Staying in campgrounds, that's almost 2 months. I mean, picture that for your mortgage. Now there's gas, there's all kinds of other stuff,
and
but
food and
yeah, I mean, but just that there's ways that you can, you know, figure it out to save money to do it. But we're going to see family first in Florida. We want to stay down south more so for February into March, and then as it goes up, we want to get out to the West Coast in April and be out there for 5 months or something.
Long time.
Yes, and really experience it. And we don't know where we'll end up at. And we do have some family, you know, here in Georgia. We have family in Florida. But we don't know. What if we love Colorado? What if we love North Dakota for all? We don't know.
We have no idea. We might get someplace and just say,
oh my God,
this is where we want to be.
This is where we want to raise our kids at.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We're excited about, you know, that opportunity. So I mean, that's the one you guys get to follow along and see this great adventure. I mean, the next thing we had to do was buy an RV, and we went looking new, we went looking old, in between, and we've heard a lot. Don't buy new, because if you buy new, then you're just 20-30% depreciation as soon as you drive it off the lot. And yes, it comes with a little bit of security, but there's come with a lot of security, not like cars and everything for the warranties and stuff. And so we went back and forth on figuring out, did we want a payment? And we ended up purchasing a 99 Holiday Rambler Vacationer. 99, that's 09, that's 20 some years old, this thing. But the last owner that had it for 8 or 9 years and did a phenomenal job.
It's beautiful. It's so well maintained, taken care of.
Upgraded
it's in great
everything.
Condition.
We even took it to a shop and to have things looked at, and the owner of the shop was like, how long have you guys had this thing? He's like, this is the cleanest thing. He's like, I've looked at $1 million ones before, and
we're not in this good condition.
Is coming in here. I mean, he laughed and he was like, I thought you were bringing me a project. Oh my God, this thing is beautiful. And he kept ranting and raving over this. And I let the owner know what a great job he did with it. But it made us have good peace of mind. There wasn't anything wrong with it.
We made a good decision in that.
Yeah. And things will happen. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
We're going to have to learn a lot of that because we don't know the difference between propane and generator right now.
Well, you don't.
I don't. Yeah. I just want it to work. I want the heat on, or I want the refrigerator to work. So there's different things we're going to learn and experience, and that's what we're on Facebook with a lot of RV places or sites that we can ask questions to when we have them, and it's a different world. It's a different community from everything we've heard. But the other fun thing is we've never camped before, so you've heard stories of people saying, like, before you buy an RV, go rent one for a week. Go
take it on a trip. Make sure it's what you want to do.
So I went camping once in my life at like 7 or 8 years old, and in Pennsylvania somewhere, I think, with a family. And then you lived in
a motorhome when I was little, but I mean, I was
4,
maybe 4.
Okay. So you have no idea.
Don't remember it. Little snippets I remember just because I was so young, but
and we're going from 2,700 to 300. And we just went. And if people know me, I go all in. If I play tennis. The first time playing tennis, I want to act like I've been playing tennis for 10 years. I want to at least seem that way. So we went all in on the RV. We bought the 99, and we did take it out to Stone Mountain for a couple days, just to see how it's
try to figure out how things
get the kids a little bit adjusted to it. But yeah, so we've never done the camping. We never test drove one until we were ready to buy one. So we got a lot to learn.
Should be entertaining for you guys that are watching us.
Should see like, oh my God, these guys, what did they do? But we're not rich. We don't have a lot of money, going into it. It's a budget. It's all about a budget. And yes, we want to invest this much into it. I have if the older folks are out there, I got my green ledger here, and starting February 1st, every little ticket's going to be on here that we were doing, so we can stay, budgetly sound in it. So we're going to be on our P's and Q's, going through it to make sure we don't overspend. Everything we've heard is only couples that are out there, not with children, And
we have no idea what we're looking at, honestly.
And we want to have fun. We want to enjoy the experience too. If this is going to be a once in a lifetime thing for now, as much as we know, then bam, we want to do some stuff too. But we don't want to get carried away, while doing it. The other funny thing, and you'll see but downsizing and going from, we have 2 kitchens, 2 living rooms, 3 bathrooms. And
realizing
a study, what
how
you don't
much
need.
Stuff we don't really need.
No, and if you guys look at for instance, kitchen, we probably have 3 or 4 different sets of place settings in there. You don't need all that, and that's not including China. It's not including kitchen or Christmas, type stuff. You use the same plates every day. Think about your drink cups that you use. I mean, she uses the same coffee cup every day.
I love my coffee cup.
So you don't need 12 of them.
Well,
I mean, I don't need 10 drinking glasses or whatever. I mean, if I have my 1 drinking glass, that I need, that's what I need. The same thing goes with clothes. We wear the same clothes. If you're going to work, you're wearing the same cycle. If you're staying home, you're in the same pajamas or sweats or anything else.
Hey,
I'm just saying. She was working from home for a while, but. You'll be amazed at how much stuff that you don't use. And when we're going through it, it's so easy to go through this stuff and be like, yeah, we don't need that. Just condense it down to this. We're not getting rid of everything. I'm putting some stuff in storage because when we do come back to our life, we don't want to start completely over. We won't have the funds for that.
But we're going to be going through stuff and being like, oh wow, I completely forgot we had this.
Yeah, and there's some things you find, and it's like, oh my gosh. But that's some of the things that we'll be doing for our little broadcast that we're doing when we go to these different campsites. We're going to be walking the parks. We're going to be showing people, because that's what we've looked at when we're signing up for a place. Oh, we'll go to YouTube. Is it on there? What does it look like? What is some of the people say about it? Yes, you can Google stuff, but just getting that fact out there, you can see.
And seeing it.
Yeah, because they can show some different types of pictures, I guess. On the websites.
Yeah, they show those beautiful edited staged.
That one spot is on the lake and has like
and
one
it's
tree
gorgeous, and the rest
bench.
of the place looks like junk.
Yeah, or it gets flooded, throughout. So we're going to be posting, that type of stuff. The girls are going to be all over the thing. They're excited about, getting into a YouTube channel because they live on, that stuff on the TV. So some of our drives along the way, some of the scenes. Of course, we're taking a lot of pictures. But this YouTube channel is, yes, we want it for a lot of people, but it is for us to enjoy down the road. So we have something that's stamped, it's in there, we can always go to. The daughters can always go to it, our sons can always go to it, and they can see, what we did accomplish, how happy we were, even the stressfulness stuff that went on there, the hiking that we'll be doing, and more of the exploring. But that's basically what we're going to be doing, when we're out there. And it starts February 1st. Is the plan right now still of going out. Our first spot is we're going to Savannah first, and staying for a couple nights there, and then we go up north a little bit, South Carolina, but then down south to Jacksonville and Orlando, Cocoa Beach, that area, down to Miami, and then up the West Coast to see family, there, and then headed to Texas, so we got a lot of stuff to do. We're gonna put another video out of the RV tour. We still have a lot to do in RV. We haven't done much to it. It's still going to be basic, just see. We're not going to have our touch on it. We're not remodeling the thing or anything, but we're going to be packing it up.
Not yet, maybe later.
Yeah, down the road. It's a lot of new stuff in there. We don't need to be touching that, yet. And then we're putting together a video of us going through moving of stuff, so we can see the transition of going through that. And then it'll be full speed ahead February 1st, once we get going there. So, we wanted to put this out there, wanted to share, if you don't know who we are. This is Deborah, I'm Ron, and wanted to show you guys what some of the reasons are for us wanting to do this lifestyle, and get a little personal with you guys so you guys can see it. We've heard from a lot of people that have said, like, oh man, I wish I could do this, or it's great that you guys are set up this way.
You're fortunate enough to do this.
And it's a choice. We have sacrificed a lot to do this.
We made a hard choice.
Friends and family are like, blown away. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this.
I think they think we're crazy.
Yes.
And we might
be. We don't know. Midlife crisis could be. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll find out once we're out there.
Yes. Like, oh my God.
But we just decided to sacrifice the house and
we can buy a house down the road.
We can get another house.
We can add subway tile. We can put quartz or granite.
Yeah, we can do all of that stuff. It's things. It's not important. What's important is
family.
Is our family, spending the quality time together, being there for our kids the way we feel like they deserve. Because I don't think we've been able to do that, because we were spending so much time thinking we have to provide them this big house, and we have to provide them with the toys that they want and the cutest clothes, and that's not important.
And you spend more time with people you work with than you do with your actual family,
which is
sad. In a way. nothing against. We like people I work with.
I like the people I worked with, but these are my kids, and my kids deserve
and we want to show them the
best that I can give them.
Yep. And we want them to grow and be able to look back, because if you think about your vacations that you do take, a lot of them are vacations that you took when you were a kid. Like when we go up north to Wildwood, Atlantic City, Seaside, that's because I did that when I was a kid. If we go to Disney World or something, it's stuff when you guys were kids, we do that. Well, now we're going to have the whole country is going to be their landscape to figure out what they want to do in life. They're going to know more. I was born in New Jersey, and Delaware is where I stayed. I didn't know anything about the country, colleges to choose or nothing. These guys are going to learn so much about, oh my God, remember New Mexico? Or, well, it was beautiful there in Montana.
Right.
You know, or, you know, in Idaho, you know, for all we know, you know, with this stuff. So that's what we want our kids to have choices later on down the road and show that, you know, you can do anything. I mean, anything's possible. Yeah, this is odd. Our parents took a break, you know, in the middle of life, took the school year, and boom, for a year we went on the road. So hopefully you guys will enjoy our trip. And the one thing we do ask is share some of this stuff. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Some things, you know, that we have heard throughout other RVers and stuff, if you do get subscribers, and correct me if I'm wrong if people are out there, but if you get up to like 1,000 subscribers, then you start getting some type of residual back of being able to, like gas money, nothing like, you know, big or anything. And I mean, if that comes, awesome, you know, for it. But we want to get out to others because, for one, we're going to need information to ask questions because we don't know, you know, as much. And we, for ones that aren't doing this type of thing, aren't as crazy as we are.
We're scared.
Yeah. And we are scared too.
We are, but we decided to take that jump.
We're like 10 days out. 10 days out.
10 days. God. Wow. But we decided to take that jump and just see what happens because we know we can always come back to this lifestyle. And we might not be able to do this later on.
No. I mean,
whether it's
2 weeks vacation a year,
it's
not enough for doing something like this. And we gave it a hard look, and we thought this is best for our family, and we want to give it a try. I mean, we're excited and scared, but
definitely
we think it's worth it. We can always stop anytime we want to. I mean, if we wanted to, but we truly, you know, right now we're full speed ahead, and we're excited about getting started. It's at the beginning. So we'll see. But the good news for us, I think, is 2 months from now, we're going to be headed to that west. And that's where, in our mindset, that's another fresh start, you know, going. So we're not going to be bored to death in 2 months or 3. And then, you know, coming across, you know, the other side. So if you do like our channel, you know, leave some comments, you know, on there.
Definitely comments. I want to say, those of you that have done this, have been doing this, any tips that you can give us, things that you maybe wish you knew before you started, the real, ugly truth to this, so that we kind of have an idea.
One of the ugly truths is, and you're not going to see in my little green ledger, is it costs a lot to get started. Yeah. There's a lot of upfront. So when we do our year analysis, you know, in a year, it's not going to have everything that we put forward we had to get a tow dolly. I mean, you had to get an RV. You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. You had to pack the RV. You got to get safety things inside the RV so you don't have bugs, or you don't have containers.
And all the things to be able to hook up when you go to the campsite, so that
all the
you
electronics
have water
that you're going to have. Yes.
Can use your bathroom.
You don't just buy an RV and it's done. You know, there is a lot, so don't let people fool you and tell you that. And we didn't. We knew some of the stuff's out there. We're still learning. We don't know it all, but we find it and we're like, damn, we got, by the way, we got
bugs. Oh yeah, wait a second. We forgot. We still got to go get this.
Yeah, I was like, shoot. So, you know, it's not as cheap, but hopefully when, you know, we put a lot of that behind us, so when we get to February 1st, start tracking everything, then we'll have, after that first month, we'll know a little bit more about how much it'll be if you average that, you know, a month.
And of course, we know it's going to vary depending on where we are and say what the gas prices are, what we decide to do in a certain area, because things will cost more depending on where we are, but we know to expect that. But just any tips, any suggestions on where we should maybe go, what we need to see, things to do with kids if you have young kids.
I'll show you our map for now real quick before we head out on you, so you can see it's a little scribbly. Maybe you can get a better shot in here, you know, of it. Let's see. Okay, there, all the black is, you know, where we're going, and we stopped. So we stopped over here in Washington, D.C., and that's somewhere October, November. So we're still going to have a lot of time. So we're thinking about Tennessee and all the mid states that we're missing in the beginning. But we're starting in Atlanta, going here, all the way down and up, and then around. And we got a lot to do out there. That's where there's a lot of mountains, a lot of stuff to see. But that's the goal for now. We'll probably get another map just to see how much it's changed. But other than that, I just want to thank you for listening to our story. And we will, I guess, see you on the road.
Thanks. Bye.